Association and this station.
The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Money Radio staff, management, or advertisers, and do not represent an offer to buy or sell any securities. Some interviews heard on this program may be sponsored by the participants. It's time for Health Futures with Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth. This is Arizona's only show dedicated to providing you with expert advice on how to live a longer, healthier, and happier life. To learn more, call 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Bob Roth.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. And it must be Friday, and indeed it is. It is Friday, July the 19th, and we're coming at you live from the Scottsdale Air Park, Money Radio Studios. We are at 1510 AM, 105.3 FM, and the World Wide Web, moneyradio1510.com. And today's a special day for the Roth family. My oldest, Samantha Jo, Sammy Jo, today's her birthday. I probably shouldn't say how old she is. I know women don't like to tell about their age, but she's my baby, my oldest, and a big shout out to you, Sammy Jo. Happy birthday today. And then we got some other good news in the Roth family. My baby, literally my third one, Jessica Roth, she just got news this morning that she passed the NCLEX, which is the nursing board. This is a kid who worked really hard for 4 years down at the University of Arizona, and passing that test was huge. She'd been studying all summer, and she now is working her way to securing a job over in Los Angeles. Don't know why she wants to go to California. She is tired of maybe the heat here in Arizona, but maybe we can bring her back in a later date. But that's her next venture. But congratulations, Jessica. We're really excited for you. So if you are just tuning into our show for the very first time, our show is called Health Futures for a reason. We talk about how our older adult population can live a healthier, happier life. And how do we do this? We do this by bringing extraordinary guests to the show. We've been on this program now, or we've had this program now for 6 years. We've brought to you over 300 shows and probably have had every bit of 250 different guests to the show. And this is a subject matter that we're going to talk today about that is so important, and it's not just important for our older adults, it's important for people like myself and even younger people as well. We're going to talk about the importance of exercise and fitness, and I'm really pleased to have here in the studio, I've got Erin Mahoney. She's the VP of Education for the International Sports Science Association, otherwise known as ISSA, and they are rooted deeply in education, health, and fitness. Welcome to the show, Erin.
Thanks, Bob. Happy to be here.
It's so great to be here. And, for us, fitness and health needs change as we age. To maintain a high quality of life, there are a few areas that we need to focus on as we age, and they include balance, resistance, and flexibility. And I'm aging every single day. My oldest daughter is aging too. We talked about her going. What's it? The Earth goes around the sun one more time, or the sun goes around the Earth. I'm not really sure, but you know what? She's got one more year on her birthday, and it is so important to really maintain balance, resistance, and flexibility. And I'm so glad that you're here today to talk to us about this.
I love talking about this stuff, and especially when you're talking about aging and we're all aging. It's nothing we can get out of, right? So Learning how to age fit or healthy is a concern for everybody. And especially with the aging population right now, it is far outweighing the growing up population. And active agers are a lot more active than they used to be. So 20 or 30 years ago, if we imagined somebody that was 80, we wouldn't imagine them maybe still playing tennis or racquetball or walking, hiking, swimming, but they are. And how can we get more of those people to do that? And how can we also make sure that we're preventing different conditions as we all get older anyways?
You know, it's interesting. Some people talk about successful aging. There's nothing successful about aging. I mean, we all suffer from deficits as we go along, but it's actually managing through those. And, you know, one of the things I talked about with aging is balance. And balance is so important. And a lot of people don't know this, but 75% of the ER and urgent care visits are 65-year-olds and older that fall. And it directly relates to balance.
Absolutely. Fall prevention is huge in the fitness community right now, especially with the active aging population, because of all those injuries associated with it, but also because of how difficult the recovery is afterwards with those fall-related injuries. So with fitness and, you know, with the ISSA, we certify personal trainers and group fitness instructors. And one thing that we have a big focus on is balance training to help prevent those fall-related injuries, which a lot of them are so preventable if we just work the body and the mind in a way to get out of it.
So you talked about 80-year-olds now hiking, playing tennis, playing golf. Matter of fact, a good friend of mine back in Baltimore, that's where I'm originally from, his dad's now 88 years old. He told me about a month ago that his father played tennis in the morning and then played 18 holes of golf in the afternoon. Gosh. And I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot believe an 88-year-old was out there doing that.
It's incredible. And I think everyone has a lot, you know, as we're aging, we have more energy than we maybe had previously. But the problem is there's these still physiological changes in our body that start impacting fall and other conditions or injuries. And so, you know, maybe they want to play golf or they want to play tennis or whatever that is, but their bodies might not be as equipped as it was 20 years ago. So, you know, we really have to take that into consideration and do some training so we can make sure that we're doing the recreational activities that we want to do out there.
Right, right. And you know what's interesting? There's a book, and I'm trying to remember it. I'll pull it up online maybe at the break. It's called Younger Next Year. I don't know if you ever read that book, but it was co-authored by a doctor and this business consultant. And one of the things that he talked about aging, talked about it's like the tide coming in. And, you know, when mammals age, and we're talking about whales and porpoises and stuff like that, they beach. And the reason why they beach is because they can't fight that tide. Oh. And we're fighting that tide, that metaphor, we're fighting that tide every day. Mm-hmm. And it certainly gets more difficult as we age.
It really does. So, you know, we think about the physiological aspects of it, but there's other elements of it too. So, for example, our lifestyles change. We get older and we have, you know, more time on our hands in a good way, and we sometimes have more money too. So we can do more enjoyable things like eat more, drink more, have other social gatherings that aren't as active as they were when we were younger. So just the way our lifestyle changes also impacts the conditions that we're putting our bodies in as well. Right.
And I just want to make sure I cited this book correctly. It's a book that was written by Chris Crowley and Dr. Henry Lodge, and it is called Younger Next Year. And that metaphor just makes so much sense. And, you know, one of the things that we are challenged with, and even myself, is exercising. And we got to do that almost daily, don't we?
Absolutely. Be active in any way you can, whether it's at the gym or just incorporating activity every day.
And, you know, one of the things, and we'll come back at the break, sitting is now known as the new smoking.
Yes.
It's the equivalent.
Absolutely.
It's the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day, they say. So, I mean, we have to be active and we have to be moving.
I can't wait to talk about it. Sitting's terrible.
Well, it's hard to believe we're up against a break. Erin, it's really nice to have you here on the show. We got a lot more that we're going to talk about aging, and we're going to talk about exercise and how important it is to incorporate this into your daily life activities. It's something that we need to do every day, right, Erin?
Absolutely.
Stick around. We got 3 more segments. Hard to believe we're down 1. You've been listening to Health Futures. We'll be right back.
Financial words of wisdom with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
There should be a little sign like there's on the side of cigarette packets. Picking tops and bottoms can be hazardous to your wealth. Don't try to do it.
It's helpful financial food for thought on your drive home with a host who tells it like it is. Market Wrap with Mo Ansari.
Catch Market Wrap on Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM Monday through Friday at 5 p.m.
Did you know that people with paid-off mortgages don't care about rising interest rates? Hi, Joe Capitano here, Senior Vice President with Homeowners Financial Group. Don't envy them, be one of them. And there are a lot of you out there who could possibly pay off your mortgage in 5 years or less and have full access to your equity 24 hours a day and not change any of your spending habits. So if you have 20% equity or could get there fast, you have to call me. Mortgage interest deductions are not what they used to be. So I have a mortgage. I have a plan to share with you. Retire free and clear. Call me today, Joe Capitano, 480-305-8545, 480-305-8545, or go to joeloans.com. Banker number 0906222, NMLS number 98826. I'm an equal housing lender. That's Joe Capitano, 480-305-8545, or just joeloans.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-611-7394. 800-611-7394. That's 800-611-7394.
Dell Small Business Technology Advisors offer advice, one-on-one partnership, and tailored tech solutions, like computers with Intel Core processors. Call an advisor today at 877-BUY-DELL.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. I'm your host, Bob Roth, and if you are just tuning in, I have got Erin Mahoney. She's the VP of Education for ISSA. That's International Sports Science Association. And we are here on our second segment. If you missed the first segment, go up to our website at cypresshomecare.com. Click on the third button across the top, and you will find media. That third button after you click that is our radio show. Click on that, and you'll be able to catch that first segment and about 300 others that we've been bringing to you. So, Erin, I'm going to go back to you. And we were talking about in that first segment, we talked about fall prevention, and we also talked about sitting being the new smoking. I'd like to pick up on both of those.
Fantastic. So let's start with sitting, because fall prevention is required because of all the sitting that we're doing. So if you think about how many hours we spend sitting, especially once we get into our 50s and 60s, it's the majority of our life. So our hip flexors are tight, upper back area, hamstrings, all of these things that when you try to start moving and those muscles are tight, you're not going to be moving the way you should be moving. So it really crumbles your ability to stay active. So we obviously want to be mobile and moving around and getting out of that chair. And by sitting, what's also happening is it's not forcing your brain to start activating these different really, microscopic motor units to recruit the right muscles. So we're sitting and our brain isn't recruiting the muscles they need to be recruiting, then our muscles are becoming inactive because of this nervous system not making the communication.
Right.
So then what happens is we get up and we're just so much more likely for low back pain, injury, falls, which again, fall prevention, really big. And it's really easy to implement strategies to avoid falling and getting an injury over it.
We're experiencing it in the Roth family. I've had my father here on the show. People may know him if they listen in regularly. His name's Sheldon Roth. He goes by Noodles. So Noodles has been challenged over the last couple of years with his lower back. And basically what has happened, and he's a byproduct of the era and the age that he lived in. I mean, people sat, and he would work 12 hours a day sitting at his desk. And the lower part of his back, the L2, 3, and 4, he has a lot of disc compression, and he was dealing with a lot of nerve issues because all those years of sitting caused a lot of degeneration of those the spinal column down there.
It's so tough on the joints. It's tough on the body all the way around. And
Right.
I think you had mentioned like some sciatic issues with them as
Sciatic,
well,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And so what sitting does is some of those deeper muscles in your glutes start compressing on that nerve. So even without the degeneration in the discs, just by sitting, you're going to be prone to experiencing those sciatic issues much younger than ever before, really. A lot of people start seeing the onset of that in their early 30s or even late 20s.
Wow. And, you know, I liked how you described it, especially with our listening audience. I mean, we're very visual people when we're listening on the radio. And you talked about how, you know, you talked about recruiting, you know, the brain recruiting, you know, certain muscles and responses. And that's so important.
It is so important. And people always think of fitness and activity as being about the muscles of the body, but we have to get a message to those muscles in the first place.
Right.
So, and they come from the brain. So if our brain isn't stimulated, we certainly can't stimulate the muscles. So fall prevention and even just activity in general is really good for memory and mood because it is activating the central nervous system, but it's also getting the body, it's training the body by the mind, which is all about fall prevention.
And, you know, when people think about working out, especially with older adults, I mean, you know, you start thinking about, and a lot of our listeners that might be younger don't know who Charles Atlas is, but, you know, you start thinking about Charles Atlas and those others that, you know, would lift those heavy weights. I mean, Erin, you probably subscribe to a lot of stuff just being body weight stuff, body weight exercises. It's just being active, right?
Absolutely. It's funny with fitness because it was born out of the era with these bodybuilders on Venice Beach and such.
Right.
Everyone thinks it has to be about that, but it doesn't.
Pumping
You can
iron.
you can pump your own body weight. So just doing simple activities at home and just thinking about it once every hour, getting up, moving around, maybe doing 3 to 5 minutes of some of these exercises can make huge impacts throughout your life.
You know, as we start to get ready to wind down our second segment, I really want to talk about the social aspect of exercise because, you know, one of the challenges we have is that 1/3 of our population, 65 and older, lives home alone. And it's anticipated in the next 11 years, by 2030, that number may get as high as 50%. It already is approaching 50% in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, up in Seattle, and Washington, D.C. So talk to us about how you can do exercise and make it a social activity because socialization is so big for our older adults.
For sure. I mean, we're social creatures, right? So with activity being social, you can do walking groups, you can do golfing, tennis together. Pickleball is becoming more popular these days. So having that social environment not only feeds that social need that you were talking about, Bob, but it also increases the likelihood that you'll stick to these activities because they're more enjoyable and you've got that additional accountability and motivation from other people that are going through it with you.
Right. And you know, there's a lot of other exercises that can be done. And I know that, you know, I was a little prepared for this and talking about water aerobics. I mean, one of the challenges that we have as we age, and I'm experiencing this right now, is joint issues. And getting in the pool is just as important as anything else. And you don't have to worry about that joint pain when you're in a pool, right?
Absolutely not. It's not weight bearing, which is great. If pain is preventing you from exercising, doing water activities, swimming laps, doing deep water fitness exercises is great. You can get one of those flotation devices to help keep you afloat, and it becomes a total body exercise where you're really, you know, using the resistance of the water and also improving your cardiovascular health as well.
So lastly, I want to talk about as we end the endorphins that are released from exercise. I got to tell you, I always hated working out. I still to this day do. But once I am done, I just get this adrenaline rush. It's like a high. It feels so good. And why does that happen, and how important is that for us?
It's so important. So you get that endorphin release from exercise, and there's so much research about how it impacts mood and helps stimulate positive emotions. So exercise increases intensity through all your systems of the body. So it is releasing that fight or flight response, which is going to help with the endorphins. And, you know, for people that don't like to exercise, it's really important that before you even start to remember or recall what that feeling is going to be like afterwards. And if you can visualize feeling more positive and empowered afterwards, you're going to be so much more likely to get up and do something, how big or small it is.
And again, we're talking about our aging population, and knowing that almost half of them may be living alone, doing these social exercises in groups and then having this endorphin release. I mean, our older adults are going to feel a lot better about themselves. We're going to prevent falls. We're going to have people that are, more physically fit so that they can age. I won't use the word successfully because there's nothing successful about it, but age in a better way than they would have otherwise.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about it. What are the positive things that are happening, or what isn't positive? Your mood improves, your memory improves, your ability to do your daily activities improves, and your overall quality of life just improves through this. And you're making those connections with the people that you're exercising with, and it's fantastic.
And there are ways that you can find these things easily. I mean, you can join your local Y. There are senior centers in most every community that there is. I mean, especially here in Arizona.
Absolutely. There has never been, I've been in the fitness industry my entire life, and I've never seen more of community opportunities at gyms than I ever have before. It really is all these different programs and activities that aren't centered around just lifting weights. It truly is, hey, we've got a walking club, or we're going to get a group together and we're going to go take a trip to wherever it might be. And they do it as groups, and it's focused on being active, and it's amazing because it's come such a long way.
So, we got a cool spell here now in Arizona. It's only going to be like 106 today. So, I mean, the thought of going outside and exercising is somewhat, scary and something that no one really wants to do. But we got malls. We got places that you can go to, and just, walking is the first step. I mean, if you are not physically fit, start walking, right? Start moving.
Yes. We do have gorgeous malls, and walking is one of the biggest steps, so to speak, in fall prevention. Is you've got to be moving on a real environment where it's challenging your levels of stability and balance. So go indoor and walk around, go to different fitness facilities. You can walk, even this morning it was like 97 at 6 a.m. So
Isn't
maybe
that crazy?
I know it's not really an option, but it will be again soon.
It will be for sure again soon. So when we come back from the halftime break, which is coming up very shortly, I want to learn a little bit more about you, Erin. You said you've been doing this your entire life.
Yeah, it's been my career.
Yeah, and obviously, you've got the bug. I mean, fitness has been it's in your DNA. But I also want to really understand a little bit more about ISSA, International Sports Sciences Association, and what do they do? I mean, obviously, they do education, and there's a certification that personal trainers go through, but I think there's a lot more about them, right?
So much more for different populations, including seniors. It's fantastic.
So give a little tease before we enter the third segment, the second half. Are you born and raised here?
I'm not born here, but I was raised here since I was about 6, so I'm pretty used to the heat. And fitness has been part of my life. I've made a career out of it accidentally, which is great because even for our active aging population, if you do like fitness, you can still have it as a side career, which is one of the many offerings that ISSA has.
Fantastic. And did you go to high school here and college here?
I went to Arizona State. Go Devils.
Go Devils. There you go.
I grew up in Kingman, Arizona, so I went to Kingman High School.
All right.
And then I went to my graduate program out here at a local graduate program. And then I started in college by using fitness as a way to pay, my college bills, so to speak. And now I'm still here years and years later, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Are you a former athlete?
I am a former athlete.
What sports did you play?
Swimming and gymnastics.
Swimming and gymnastics.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, as you hear the music, we're coming up on halftime here, so we got another 2 segments. We got a lot to talk about with Erin Mahoney, so stick around. You've been listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. We got ISSA here in the house. Erin Mahoney, halftime here at Health Futures. We'll be right back.
As we reach the bottom of the hour, we pause for a look at the world's news. Then we're back with Money Talk. We're Money Radio 1510 AM and 105.3 FM.
Iran has now seized a second oil tanker after taking control of a British vessel earlier today. Correspondent Barbara Starr.
This is a Liberian flag tanker called Mesdar. We are now learning that U.S. maritime intelligence has every reason to believe Mesdar has also been seized by Iranians elements and potentially taken into Iranian waters.
195 million people are under heat advisories today. Meteorologist Chad Myers.
Feels like this afternoon 117 in Kansas City. It felt like 114 in Omaha, and the heat now is to the northeast. New York, you had a good day yesterday, but it is not so good today. Feels like 98. Get away from or into the cities. Your temperatures are going to feel more like 105.
On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are all trading in negative territory. I'm Ann Cates.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-461-4545. That's 800-461-4545. 800-461-4545. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Money Radio, a pioneer in a broadcasting format, giving people confidence in their finances before and during retirement. Welcome to the club.
Are you sick and tired of hearing, don't buy an annuity until you've spoken to the so-called experts? If so, call 800-957-5604, extension 200, to learn the concept of a principal-protected, low-cost, new generation annuity and the various options. Listen to Secured Financial Solutions every Monday and Thursday at 1 p.m. on this station to prevent a derailed retirement and from purchasing the wrong annuity, especially the high-risk, high-fee variable annuity and complex proprietary index annuities. Secured Financial Solutions will help you understand the difference between true stated guarantees and non-guaranteed returns. Call 800-957-5604, extension 200, and visit dreamretire.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Virtue Capital Management, LLC, VCM, and Registered Investment Advisor. VCM and Secured Financial Solutions, LLC, are independent of each other. Annuities are insurance products, backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insuring insurance company. Information provided is not intended as tax or legal advice and should not be relied on as such. You are encouraged to seek tax or legal advice from an independent professional.
Have you ever heard the phrase, he or she who hesitates is lost? Never has it been more relevant than in today's real estate market. Hi, Joe Capitano here, Senior Vice President of Homeowners Financial Group. Rates are rising fast. Home prices in some areas are still rising and stalling in others. If you need to purchase a home, do it now. If you need to sell a home, do it now. If you need equity out of your home, do it now. I've been in this market over 35 years, so I've been through this a time or two, and it can be painful. I've got the experience to see you through it and find ways to soften the effect of those rate hikes. Call me. Let's get a strategy. Joe Capitano, 480-305-8545, 480-305-8545, or just go to joeloans.com. Backer number 0906222, and MLS number 98826, Equal Housing Lender. Joe Capitano, 480-305-8545.
Dell Small Business Technology Advisors offer advice, one-on-one partnership, and tailored tech solutions, like computers with Intel Core processors. Call an advisor today at 877-BY-DELL.
Jim Chesko with Your Money Now. News of an offer to acquire the Red Robin Gourmet Burgers chain has shares of the restaurant operator soaring today. Activist shareholder firm Vintage Capital Management is offering $40 a share to buy the restaurant chain. The company says it will review the proposal. Red Robin shares are up 12.5% today. U.S. stocks are now modestly lower in the final hour of trading. The Dow Industrial's down 17 points. The Nasdaq's down 46. The S&P 500 has dipped 13. Struggling retailer Dress Barn says it will close all of its stores by the end of the year, with 53 closing next month. 2 months ago, Dress Barn and its parent company, Ascena Retail Group, announced the brand's wind down. Last month, 25 stores were in the first round of closings. Skechers shares are surging 11.5% today. The shoemaker's second quarter earnings and revenue reported late yesterday blew past forecasts. The company says it experienced growth in every region. That includes several international markets. That's Your Money Now.
The clock is ticking. Every day you put off buying life insurance can cost you big time. The older you get, the more you'll have to pay. And a sudden accident or unexpected illness could cause your rates to skyrocket or even make you uninsurable. Beat the clock. Call Select Quote now. No hassle, no obligation. In minutes, you'll have a choice of your best rates from up to 10 highly rated life insurance companies. Richard, 40 years old, takes meds to control his cholesterol. Still, Select Quote got him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. Under $1 a day. Don't risk your family's security another minute. Get your free quote now. Just call 800-569-2121. That's 800-569-2121. 800-569-2121. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. I'm your host, Bob Roth. And if you're just tuning in, we're in our second half. Brought in by a little bit of Bruce Springsteen, the boss. Gotta love a little hungry heart. So if you're just tuning in, I've got Erin Mahoney. She is the VP of Education for ISSA Association. Actually, it's International Sports Science Association. They are deeply rooted in educating in health and fitness, and we talked a lot about our older adults, talked about fall prevention and the reason why sitting is really now the new smoking and why we need to be active. And at the very end of the second segment, we learned a little bit about Erin and your background. While you're not born here, you're really a native here. You went to ASU. You're a Sun Devil. I want you to just kind of finish off a little bit about your history, and then I want you to talk a little bit about trends in fitness and aging, what you're seeing.
You got it. So what we were talking about before the break is when I had come out to college, I had taught group fitness back in Kingman, and then I was teaching it on the side when I was in college out here in Phoenix. And from there, I started doing personal training because you can only teach so many classes, I mean, even in your 20s before your joints start breaking down. So I went through a certification organization to get certified as a personal trainer, and always with the intention of doing something else with my life. And it turned out I really enjoyed the fitness industry, and it's, as a career, it's so flexible in terms of the hours that you work, the money that you're capable of making, that I stayed in it. And then it just went from one thing to another, and then into a longer career in fitness education with ISSA.
And you get to wear these cool clothes every day.
We do get to wear these cool clothes every day.
You don't have to put the heels on.
Yes, it's a huge. Heels are terrible for your body too. It's just like, yeah, it's just like sitting. So yeah, it's a great job.
Yeah, that is really, really awesome. And you know, my wife has been here on the show before, Susie. She is a personal trainer too, and I'm not even here to tell you where she got her certification, but it was almost 20 years ago, and she does a fitness boot camp almost every day at our local park, and she's got a bunch of ladies that join her every day, and it's just moving.
It's perfect. I mean, it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. Being a personal trainer is such a great opportunity as a side job or as your full-time job. It really, I mean, that's a fantastic story that your wife is a trainer as well.
Oh, yeah.
Teaching at a park. That's fantastic.
And while I look fit, it's a byproduct of her. I just run around chasing her. No, but in great candor, I mean, you are, head of education for I say head of education, but VP of education for ISSA, and I'm sure there's some people listening in, and this is a shameless plug for you. We have a listening audience that, there may be somebody that might be interested in getting into this field. Talk to us about how they do that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No worries.
So you can go to our website, which is issaonline.com. And it's not just about, it's certainly trainer focused. So you can get your entry level certified personal training certification. But there's also these other certifications you can get too. So for example, senior fitness, we have a certification in senior fitness training.
Wow.
So you can learn these basics of fitness, but you can also learn them about yourself and apply them to yourself. And what's equally helpful is, if you're a senior, what else better person to turn to get trained by than another senior? People want to interact with those that they feel that they have a connection with and are similar with. So it's a great certification. And there's a ton of other specializations as well, like group fitness. We have a certification in group fitness. In fact, my mom's a yoga instructor and she's retired.
Wow.
So it's one of these great side jobs that you can have for as long as you're interested in learning and being passionate about being active and healthy.
So was your mom active and healthy before she retired, or is this something that she kind of picked up from you? Just, being around you said, you know what, Erin's really rocking it. I need to do it.
That would be pretty cool if it was that way. More so she was taking fitness classes when I was growing up.
Right.
And then I kind of fell into it. And so then throughout my career, then she started getting more interested in leading these types of classes, went and got certified. And now she loves it because she's doing it on her own time and she can plan her trips and vacations around it.
And she's retired and she's teaching, so she's making a little bit of extra money and able to, have that ability to do things.
Yeah.
Like spend a little extra money. My little brother, he has a great term for it. He calls it wham. So it's a little bit of walking around money.
I like it. And it's, we were talking about the social element of it too. So it's another way to stay socialized,
Right.
just a few hours a week if you want to.
So I want to, pivot over to talking about some of the trends you're seeing. Talk to me about some of the trends you're seeing in fitness today, because we talked about it in the second segment about Charles Atlas and bodybuilding and lifting weights. What are you seeing today, and what do you see into the future? Today, kids today, especially children, they're so stuck on their social media and their devices, and they're not moving. They're playing games. What are you seeing for our future?
So there's a lot out there on gamification for fitness, which we've all seen. It's not new. It's relatively new. That is where it's trending. There's a lot more interactive ways to be active, whether it's Peloton or just these different apps. The problem with that is it doesn't really overcome that intrinsic motivation. It really just tries to make fitness fun, which is important. But what's more important, which is also a trend, is making fitness part of your lifestyle. And that's where we see the wearable activity trackers, which is amazing to see them getting more advanced every single year and more features available. But those activity trackers are what is making you have it on the front of your mind all the time, instead of this 1 hour once a day that you have to get up and lift the weights or run or do whatever it is that you're doing. This is just saying, hey, stand. It's been an hour. Time to get out of the chair.
It's funny because I wear an Apple Watch.
Me too.
And I got to tell you, I get this alert that says need to stand or breathe.
Yes, I get that one a lot.
And it's like, okay, I am breathing. Why do I need to do more of it?
It's so important to even just take a deep breath in every now and then.
It's interesting. You talk about these activity trackers, and I'm sure you weren't planning on me doing a deeper dive into this. But Fitbit, while it was the rage when it first came out, I know that they aren't doing as well as they used to, and I'm not sure why. Maybe because people are getting this information, but they're not doing anything with it. I see that I only had 3,000 steps so far, and I only went 1.78 miles. But am I meeting my goals?
Exactly. And I had a Fitbit for a while, and so I'm not too familiar with how much more they've advanced. Right. But I like the idea of, so when we're talking about gamification, I love the idea that there's all these different badges that you can get with your Apple Watch that are based on how you performed the previous month. So it's learning from your own data, which is then allowing people to have their own personal goals that are set for them and not just the standard.
Well, the cool thing is that, my children have Apple Watches, so we actually have like a team, and I can see when they've accomplished closed their rings.
Yes.
It lets me know that they have done that.
Yeah.
That as part of gamification is really cool.
It is really cool. And competition and social. So you might not be in front of them, but they're kind of with you. I've got it with my parents as well.
Sure.
It's the same thing.
And then the other thing is, when you really look at it, the new Apple Watch detects heart rate, but also detects arrhythmias, detects falls.
Falls, isn't that incredible?
It is really, and if you don't respond, it'll call 911 for you.
How fantastic is that?
It really is. So we're getting taken out by the Doors. When was the last time we heard the Doors? Randy, man, you are really, really setting us up nicely here for our fourth segment. So you've been listening to Health Futures Taking Stock in You. We're down 3. Can you believe it, Erin?
It goes by so fast.
I got Erin Mahoney here in the studio. She is the VP of Education for the International Sports Sciences Association, ISSA. We're talking about seniors. We're talking about staying healthy, staying fit, making sure that we keep them upright and not having them fall. Stick around for one more segment. We'll be right back.
Don't miss My Smart Retirement with certified financial planner Nancy Fleming and Sean Fleming of Fleming Financial Services this Saturday morning from 10 till 11. This family-owned and operated financial services firm stand out from their peers by placing such high value on timely and personalized communication and service for their clients. Find out how you can retire smart on My Smart Retirement this and every Saturday morning at 10 right here on Money Radio. Want to talk to Nancy or Sean today? Call 480-632-8770.
You're in pain, or at least you know something is off, but you just ignore it and hope it goes away. The hard part? Living with pain. The easy part? Making an appointment with us and finding relief.
Tired of being in pain? Tired of surgery after surgery or pill after pill? Now you can stop pain for good. ARP Wave, an innovative FDA-approved technology, delivers electrical waves to muscles, joints, ligaments, and tendons that promotes healing, speedy recovery from injury, surgery, and arthritis, eliminating chronic pain. ARP Wave is used by thousands of patients and athletes with a 95% success rate. This accelerated healing therapy is a permanent solution to your pain without drugs or surgery. Treatment is right here in Scottsdale. Eliminate pain and feel better after just one 30-minute treatment. Now get the first treatment for free. Go to ArizonaPainClinic.com. That's ArizonaPainClinic.com. Or call 602-524-9022. That's 602-524-9022.
You wouldn't dive into a pool without knowing how deep it is. So why would you dig without knowing what's below? Underground utilities are buried all over Arizona. Accidentally strike one and you could be injured, or wipe out services like water, power, and internet. Call 811 or click Arizona811.com to have utilities marked first. It's free, easy, and it's the law. Remember, call 811 or click Arizona811.com. Sponsored by Arizona 811 in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Kronos, providing HR solutions for the modern workforce and the people who support them. Learn more at kronos.com/HR swagger.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. I got a little lover boy taking us out in the fourth segment. Working for the weekend, Erin. So if you're just tuning in, I've got Erin Mahoney. She's the VP of Education for the International Sports Sciences Association, ISSA. They are in the education and health and fitness business. And I want to give you an opportunity to give a shameless plug. Tell me, how do we learn more about ISSA?
You can learn more about fitness, nutrition, and health, either for yourself or to make it as a side career at issaonline.com, where you can check out our certified fitness trainer programs, where you'll learn about entry-level personal training information and also our senior fitness certification.
And I see you also have a phone number, too, 805-745-8111. So either way, you can get ISSA. So we're talking about older adults. That's what this show is all about. And our show is about health futures. How do we take better care of ourselves so we can age successfully in the future? There I go, talking about successful, but be able to age in a way that we can do as much or close to as much as we're doing today. One of the things that I learned is that senior trainers is a growing trend. You got 25,000 students who earned ISSA personal trainer certifications last year alone.
Isn't that incredible?
That is really incredible. And that's 10% were more than 40 years old. 5% were more than 50 years old.
Yes. And for our customers at ISSA, there's a very large segment of them that are seniors that are doing this as a side job after they've been retired, just to stay active and stay in the community. So it's not just for whatever the 20 and 30-year-olds.
So your mom is hooking on to that trend.
Yes, absolutely.
Being a yoga instructor.
Yeah, maybe my dad next.
There you go. Maybe. Is he retired yet?
He is retired.
All right. Well, got to get him moving.
He is actually going through our program right now and has just passed his exam.
Wow.
I know.
Very cool.
Impressive.
Well, there's a lot to celebrate in the Mahoney family.
For sure there is.
So, I want to talk about, senior fitness training. That's, really, I want to end this last segment talking about that, and then really also talking about how do we exercise to really prevent falls, because falls, like I said, 75% universally of the emergency room visits and urgent center visits are from falls from 65-year-olds and older.
So falls and senior fitness in general really focuses around 3 prevention strategies. It's mobility, flexibility, and strength, and not necessarily in that order, in a circular way. For mobility, one of the first immediate things that you can start doing is starting to do small activities like on one leg at a time. So even if you're putting groceries away, just stand on one foot so that your body can get used to responding and reacting to an environment in a way that isn't going to catch you off guard. So doing things on one foot. Another thing that you can do for mobility and fall prevention is also you're moving forward and backward every single day. So start incorporating more side-to-side movements or rotational movements. So whether that is in the pool or whether that is just taking a break and standing up and for 30 seconds stepping side to side.
I love the visualization.
Do you?
Keep going.
I mean, it gets you going, and it's
does.
training your brain to move in these different patterns. So we've got the standing on one leg, side to side, and rotational movements, which will also help prevent back pain. And then we've also got single arm activities as well. So something that you would normally pick up with both hands, see if you can start trying to use one hand, or if you're doing exercises, do it with one arm or asymmetrical movements.
And if you're lifting something, always bend from the knees.
You got it.
I mean, that's how you throw your back out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your legs are the strongest muscles in your body.
They're so much stronger than your back.
Right.
So use them.
Exactly.
So speaking of strength, perfect, is simple things you can be doing at home. The most common movement patterns that we're doing every single day is we're squatting, we're pushing, and we're pulling. And you don't need to be at a gym to do those. So you squat every single time you get in your car, every single time you sit down to eat. So start squatting a little bit more. And when you get better at those, you can start doing single leg squats. And then that's back to our mobility.
Wow.
So you're increasing strength and mobility at the same time, right? Improving our balance. And those types of activities will show up in your everyday living.
And, for those that are, going to house of worships, so many times I see people, and my wife is always, saying, hey, don't pull in the pew in front of you to stand up. Use your legs and stand up using your abs and your glutes and then sit back down. but don't hold on to the pew in front of you, because a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah. And I mean, truly, the body's job is to always take the path of least resistance. Your body is never saying, hey, let's get out of this the hard way. Let's use our legs to stand up. The body's going, no, I'm going to grab onto that pew.
Right.
So it's your job as you continue aging successfully, which I think that's possible, Bob.
All right. We're getting there.
Is to start thinking about how can you not take the path of least resistance and stay active and stay strong and mobile.
So for those that are listening in, and these are adult children, maybe even grandchildren to people, what are some of the things that we should be looking for in our loved ones to say, you know what, I think it's time for you, Mom, or you, Dad, or Grandpa to, maybe incorporate maybe a little bit more exercise in your daily life?
That's a tough question because it's going to be different for everybody. And with your loved ones, you know them the best.
Right.
So if you see unlikely decreased energy levels, that's a great indicator. If you see, even sighing or using other things to help you get up or down.
We call it surfing. They surf with their hands. They go from the table to a chair or sofa.
Yes.
As they're walking, they're holding on to things.
That's a perfect example. And why not, instead of surfing, start trying to find ways so that you don't need to, and reteach your brain how to use your body all over again.
Right. It's hard to believe we're winding down our fourth segment. So, we got a couple minutes here. I want you to be able to give our listeners some lasting thoughts to, really improve their own aging and also maybe their loved ones in terms of incorporating more exercise and more movement into their daily lives.
Great. Perfect. What I'll also say, Bob, is all this information you can find on our blog. There's a bunch of really at issaonline.com/blog. There's a lot of information on there that you can learn as well. But when we're talking about being active and being fit, those three things I talked about, mobility, strength, and flexibility. I didn't talk about flexibility too much, but keep your focus on that. Make sure that you're doing light, static or dynamic stretching, moving, reaching farther than maybe you normally would have otherwise. What also goes into flexibility are things like massage and things like foam rollers, which are becoming more and more popular. So those three things, if you can focus on those with the aging process, it's really going to improve the quality of your life. On the nutrition side of things, the best thing you can do is start really evaluating food as fuel, and what you're putting into your body is what you're going to get out of it. So it's easier said than done, but the more you start thinking about, okay, should I have iceberg lettuce or spinach? Whichever one knows, I'm a big fan of spinach.
Yeah.
Let's choose the one that's going to give us some more fiber, some more energy, some more nutrients, more water. I see you're drinking your water.
Right, and eating healthy, you're so right. It is the fuel that we put in our body, and it really makes our body work.
It does. And there's more, especially nowadays, there's so many available great recipes online for healthier food. So it's not as limited as it used to be. It's really quick and easy to eat healthier, to make yourself feel better every single day. Didn't
realize there was a blog. You can find the blog on your website, right?
Yes.
Okay, one last shameless plug. How do we find you?
issaonline.com.
Or 805-745-8111. Erin Mahoney, really great having you here on the show. I've learned a lot.
Well, I hope you're going to put it all to good use.
I am. I definitely am. And
great.
Susie, I hope you're listening. I'm going to definitely put it into great use. Well, listen, I can't appreciate enough you coming on, talking to us about fitness, staying healthy, so that we can try to successfully age.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
Well, you're welcome. You make it a great day. Have a great weekend. You've been listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. We'll be back next Friday. We're out.
There's no place like home. You've been listening to Bob Roth's Health Futures. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call Cypress HomeCare Solutions at 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Or visit cypresshomecare.com. Be sure to join Health Futures with Bob Roth every Friday at noon. right here on Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM.
Financial words of wisdom with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
Staying out of the market is the most dangerous thing you can do for your financial future.
If you continue to spend like a drunken sailor, you're going to run out of money. That's the reality. This is not poker. This is your financial future.
It's helpful financial food for thought on your drive home with a host who tells it like it is. Market Wrap with Mo Ansari.
Catch Market Wrap on Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 Monday through Friday at 5 p.m.
If you're over 70, you may have a hidden asset you don't even know about. You could sell your unwanted life insurance policy and pay off health care bills or supplement your retirement income. You get a cash payment, often 4 to 7 times more than the cash surrender value, while the purchaser assumes all future premium payments and eventually gets the benefit. This is known as a life settlement, explains the nonprofit Life Insurance Settlement Association. Learn more, including whether you're eligible, at lisa.org.
The station that talks about your money, Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM is KFNN